So for the truck I purchased recently, the Chevy S10, there's a lot of work that really needs to be done on it. On the drive back from Rochester after purchasing it, I kept hearing a clunk after hitting every single pothole, or every little bump on the way back home. And after I got under there and took a look, the exhaust system was just bouncing, sitting there on the rear axle. So when I saw that, I knew immediately that that was something that I had to fix eventually. And that was 3 or 4 months ago. And as of a week ago, yesterday, I had got back under there to take a look at the system, and it was pretty much about to fall off. So I took it off, and right now I'm running a straight through system. I've got no cats in my truck. I've got no muffler. It's really loud and annoying. And I know my neighbors are going to hate it the longer I go without fixing it. So I decided I was going to make a whole new exhaust system. And for the system, I still wanted a straight through system, blocking or obstructing the air's free flow. It's going to result in greater inefficiencies, which is why people like to cut off cats. Some people like to cut off mufflers. And as for me, I'm gonna keep the muffler, but it's practically a resonator. And I got this muffler on Jegs. I'll leave a link in the description. But when I say it's basically a resonator, it's pretty much, it's an X pipe in there. Means it crosses over. Basically, they meet in the middle and they re-separate, but it's pretty much corrugated down the inside. If you take a look down here, you can kind of see that these two pipes meet in the middle. You can see the little holes, and there's, I think, fiberglass in there that helps take care of the sound. As for most of this stuff, those headers, they're stainless steel. I found them on eBay for about 80 bucks. They're shorty headers, which pretty much means that you're not going to have a high RPM range horsepower gain. It's going to be more towards the lower end. These particularly, you're going to find a power difference through all the RPMs, but it's going to make the biggest difference mid-range. And yeah, like I said, they're 80 bucks. And they were just stainless steel. I chose to wrap them in the titanium exhaust wrap. A cool tip that my mechanic told me, he used to do this stuff all the time. If you take the high heat header paint, the white stuff, if you paint on the inside, it pretty much does what the exhaust wrap on the outside does, but to the inside. It helps insulate it. And this stuff, particularly, I got a can of it sitting over here. This is the stuff I purchased, VHT. The directions you got to follow after you paint it, let it dry, whatever. You have to bake it at 250 degrees for a half hour, let it cool for a half hour, then 400 degrees for a half hour, cool for another half hour, 600 degrees for a half hour, and then cool for a half hour. After that, there are directions for after you get them on the vehicle. But I couldn't get my oven up to 600 degrees. I didn't feel safe with it. You can use a grill. I've seen that done before. But I think I got this up to about 500 degrees. So after it's on the vehicle, I'm gonna let it run for a couple minutes and then turn it off and let it cool off. I'm sure after my engine runs for 2-3 minutes, these are gonna reach about 600 degrees anyway. As for the rest of the exhaust stuff, that pipe I actually found on Amazon. All of this stuff, by the way, is 304 stainless steel. But that pipe I found on Amazon for about $30, which is a really good deal, which means it's a 3-foot pipe. But a 3-foot pipe for $30 is basically $10 per foot, which is really good for 304 stainless steel from what I found. The next cheapest stuff from this was $12 a foot. But I might need to get another foot or two later. I think I'll be fine for now, though. Of course, I got these reducers and a flex pipe. Since the engine moves and stuff, you don't want to keep just a solid exhaust system with no flex in it. These headers, actually, they used to have a dome on them. These domes. just like so. And the exhaust system, how they intended it, is that you have a pipe that kind of fits around this that you kind of bolt up. And I chose not to do that system because it was a little bit, I wasn't too familiar with it for what I know. And I was going to do a flex pipe anyway. And basically the manufacturer has these so that they don't have to do a flex pipe. And there are problems with flex pipes over time. They do start to crack. Those I know are the mild steel ones, crack a lot sooner than the stainless steel ones. But I expect like 5-10 years out of this exhaust system, so I should be fine. And I'm also doing Vband clamps, which are a really good way to connect the exhaust system. For those of you who don't know what a Vband clamp is, if I can get this bugger off, basically it's a basic clamp. Bolt goes through it. You screw the nut down on that. There's 2 halves to it, and you weld the end. There's a little ridge on the inside there. You weld that to the inside of the pipe. And then you weld the other side to the other pipe that you're connecting, and then when you stick those 2 together, they meet flush, and then you slide this bad boy on top, which basically clamps them together and keeps them from moving apart. I know a lot of the turbo guys have these, because when I first started getting into cars, I was into the turbo side of things, and it's a really easy, efficient, and secure way of putting together an exhaust system. So I was kind of going with this so that if I ever needed to take anything off or any maintenance needed to be done, it's just 2 bolts, and then you can slide the exhaust system off, and it's not a whole lot of labor. So overall, what I have right here, that muffler I found on Jags for sale. It was 70 bucks after shipping and tax. Those headers for the set was $90 after tax and shipping. These reducers I got together, those were, if I'm thinking correctly, I think those were 20 bucks for the 2 of them. And then these were about 24 bucks for the 2 of these. Again, stainless steel. All this is, again, it's stainless steel. Those were probably the more expensive thing that was kind of difficult to find. I actually, this is again a really good deal that I found, the cheapest I could find of the 3 or 4 stainless steel. I found for $27 for the 2 of those. I'm going to need to purchase 2 more because of some recent changes in the system. So those were $27. That was $30. Do the math. That's how much all this stuff was. And it's kind of funny, but that pipe came in this big old box, like overkill. I could probably fit 30 of those pipes in this thing. So that's where I'm storing all this exhaust stuff in that box until I can start welding them together, which I do plan on TIGging. And as for an approximate glance of what the exhaust system is going to look like, this is kind of what I'd sketched out. You see the muffler here. I don't know about cats. I don't know if I'm going to do catalytic converter delete. I did find that if you get like a 100 or 200 cell catalytic converter, it doesn't really make a difference in power output. So I don't know if I'm gonna do a test pipe or an actual cat. Of course, it's gonna be more expensive if I do an actual cat. From what I've seen online, a 100 or a 200 cells, what you're gonna want, and that's like $100 for like the cheapest thing. And of course, I need 2 since I'm doing a dual exhaust. Initially, the system had the 2 pipes, of course, from bank 1 and bank 2, came together into 1 pipe, and then came out the back over the axle and whatnot. But instead of them coming together, I'm bringing them apart. Of course, they're going to meet in here, and then I'm going to send it out the side. I'm really excited to be putting this exhaust system together. I've never really done this before. I have welded on exhaust pipes, but I haven't made a full brand new system, from the header to the muffler to the tailpipe. So I should be getting those headers installed. I have an appointment on about a week from today. And the guy who's going to be installing them is letting me borrow his welder, and once he has his welder ready for me to pick up, I'm going to start welding the system up. So it should come together pretty quickly. And just to give you guys a general idea as to what I'm doing with the headers, here's the reducer. As soon as I chop that dome off, I'm going to replace the dome with this, and then we're going to weld the end of here, which is a 2.5, onto this. Initially, this guy was just a 1 or 2.5 inch to 2 inch, and it actually slid over this pipe. I did a little process, heated the edge up, bent it inward, rolled it out a little bit so it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to be doing, when I weld it to this pipe, it's going to be a butt joint instead of a lap joint. So I'm gonna chop a little bit of this off, and I'm gonna weld some of the Vband clamp to this. Basically, I'm eliminating the need for these bolts, just because whenever I do an engine swap or whatever, I don't want to have to hassle with 3 different bolts. I'd rather just have the one nut to deal with. It's a lot easier to work with. But yeah, pretty much this is going to be welded on there. We're going to have a little, like an inch or so of the pipe, and then the Vband clamp. And on the other side of the Vband clamp, we're going to do the flex. And then, you saw the picture earlier. We're going to do the rest of the system. So if you've watched this entire video all the way through, I appreciate it. I hope you are interested and you want to follow along with this. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and the next video I should be posting should be me welding up the exhaust system. I don't know how patient I'll be to videotape the entire thing of me welding, but after it's all welded up, I'll make a post about it. And I'll definitely show you me tacking and just getting a rough idea on how things are going to be. But yeah, thanks for watching.